Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Twist Gaming. We are here live at Origins 2019, bringing you the best board game coverage in the industry of the convention all convention long. I am here with my friend Daryl.
Hi.
From Splattered Ink Games, and we are bringing you a front row seat to one of Daryl's newest games.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks so much for having me.
No, thank you.
This is my first Origin, so all that is also kind of crazy. But yeah, this is the Alwaysgreen Garden. So
Yeah?
yeah.
You guys were here with Gamma for a little bit, so now we've got Alwaysgreen. Going to switch over to my board cam and look at how cute this game is.
Yeah, this is the cutest game that's ever going to be on Kickstarter.
Ever.
Maybe ever, maybe. But so this is the Alwaysgreen Garden. It's a kind of a medium weight worker placement and resource management, not to use gamer terms, but that's what we're doing. But it's got a lot of twists and turns and mischief in it.
Twists?
Twists?
I had to.
You did, right, because this is Twist Gaming.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry, it's not funny if you explain the joke. But anyway, so if you guys follow me at all, you might know that Daubers was something that I worked with my son heavily on. And after we finished that, I told my daughter, if you wanted to make a game, what would it be? And I didn't expect what she said. She said, I want animals in a garden where you harvest resources. And I'm like, you're 7 and you just said resources. So I'm like, we can totally do that. And we came up with the funnest little cute game that I could ever imagine, which I guess I did. So the idea is that you are working in the garden and you're one of these little gnome chefs. You're going to collect resources so that you can make recipes. You know, fun little recipes like candied almonds, lightning berry juice.
Let me see candied almonds. I know that we talked a little bit, you always use green in your games.
Well, there's one that's not too green.
Not too. A little yellow, little but look at how cute that art is.
Yeah, that is Lily, and she does have a cup of coffee because that's one of her recipes. She has walnut chicory in the game, so.
Very cute.
Yep. So each of the 4 animals have 2 special abilities while you're playing the game. The first ability is that they have to approve those recipes. So when you're moving around the board and you're collecting your ingredients, you're going to get what you need to make your candied almonds, and then you'll take your character and you'll move it over to the square where Lily is. And she'll approve it, and it goes out on your table. So yes, this is a kitchen, and the table is your table. But it goes out on your table, and you get the points for it. But Lily might not be there on your turn. These animals move around. When they use their special ability, they come to you because they're eager to help.
Okay.
And when they come to you, they each have a unique ability. Clover, for example, he will put 2 additional ingredients on the board, so he can put out a strawberry and a grain. But when the reason you might do that is when you roll, nature being unpredictable, maybe you didn't roll strawberries, or maybe you didn't roll enough strawberries. So he's going to help you out in that way. Lily the squirrel, being a little bit mischievous, she'll actually harvest from a neighboring tile. So if you are going after these mushrooms over here, you move your guy in and you use Lily, or she comes to you, and you can grab ingredients from 2 different tiles, which is really nice when you're trying to finish off that recipe that just has one of something, for example.
Right.
We can put another of Lily's recipes over there. So you just need 1 mushroom and you just harvested a bunch of grains. There you go. You can set yourself up.
Fantastic.
The matriarch of the group is Ruthie, which is my daughter's name also.
Aww.
And she will get additional recipe cards for you. So you start out the game with 3, but at the end game is triggered by 4, 5, or 6, depending on how long of a game you want to play.
Completed recipes?
Completed recipes,
okay.
Yeah. So in order to get more than 3, you'll have to get more recipe cards.
Okay.
Again, she'll come to wherever you are on your turn. And then Ursula, being the night owl, nocturnal, she'll actually steal an ingredient from an opponent.
That's so nice of her.
It is. But she'll also give you some action cards. Action cards, while we're on the subject, we'll talk about those real quick, are really cool things. Like you can get butter, and you can put butter on your porcini soup, because that's probably good, right? But it gets even better because you could also take a special ingredient, which we'll cover in a second, wood, which will give you a blender that you can put on your wild cherries to make it into a drink.
Ooh, okay.
So, yeah.
Recipe is now a drink. Nice.
Your recipe is now a drink. So there's a little bit of humor in the game. Sometimes you're doing something logical, like you're putting butter on a roll, but sometimes you're doing something ridiculous, like putting salsa on fruit or on pie, things like that.
But that's how all the best recipes are made, is taking all the wacky stuff and shoving it together and seeing what happens, right?
Right. So, I mean, even after playing 100 times, I still giggle at the game. So anyway, those are kind of some of the things that are going on with the game while you're playing. But the overriding theme mechanically is that every action you take is going to change the scenario for the next player. So when you do, move your character over here, and you need to use Lily, and Lily moves over there. Now, if someone wants to submit a recipe to Lily, they have to go to this square. We've got one more twist with that, though.
Twist.
It's a special twist. It's a twist just for twist.
Look at that.
The twist is that there's an elephant in a treehouse.
Okay.
This is Ollie, named after, again, one of my daughter's favorite toys. But he lives in the treehouse, and he makes gardening tools, and that's what these are at the top here.
He must be an excellent woodworker if he's managed to keep himself in that treehouse.
Yeah, well, it's always in his head. These little chipmunks, they handle the tools. They have the dexterity. These fingers can't do it.
He's the brains behind the
operation. He's the brains behind the operation. So while you're playing the game, you might actually roll wood. You can see this dice has one of these dice. It has a double wood on it. Well, it has a wild. There's a wild. Where is the wood at? Oh, I have two. I have two of the same dice, so we have a mismatched set for this demo. But here's wood. There's wood on that die.
Yeah, let me see like the black and white one make
yeah
really well. So you'll have one face with two of the wood.
Right.
icons.
Yeah. So on the starting dice, there's one face with two wood, and then these special dice get unlocked. We'll cut for that in just a second. So you might notice there's wood. If you harvest the wood while you're harvesting your other ingredients for your recipes, you'll spend that wood. So you need wood for the blender that we showed a second ago,
right? But
also for these tools. One time per turn, you can use one of these tools.
Which tool do you want to try for?
We're going to use this tool. So let's imagine that.
So let me throw this.
Yeah, yeah.
That way we'll have the recipe.
Oh, we're going to miss the
little
green guy, but that's okay. So you can see the badger where my hand is behind there. It's supposed to be green. So we're going to use that tool. We've got the grains and nuts here. I'm playing this blue character, and I really need to get to Ursula the owl, but I can't because those two spots are taken. If I use that wood, that gives me a rotation of all the animals, so we can move these around. So now there's an empty spot where Ursula is. I can go there. I can submit my recipe to her to get the points. All these tools, flip that over, have something different on the back.
Okay.
So when you use a tool, they turn over, creating, again, a new scenario for the next player.
Gotcha. Again, we have the green, but so for our squirrel here.
So that tool, once it's been flipped over, now gives you the ability to use a gardener a second time as long as you have already worked with that gardener once.
Okay.
So it's like it still costs one wood, but you have that prerequisite of you've proven you're not going to burn down their kitchen. So you can use them again on one turn. So it kind of gives you the ability to grow the amount of things you can do during your turn,
gotcha.
Which is one of the things that's the most fun about this game. You start out slow, but you end with a bang.
Phenomenal. So
yeah.
We were talking a little bit about who the gamer is that's going to fall in love with this game.
Yeah.
So who do you think that who did you have in mind when you were designing and developing this game? Of course, aside from your daughter, who is the brains, is the Ollie of this operation.
She is the Ollie of this operation. So, my daughter's probably not too typical. She plays Scythe, and she plays Azul, and she loves all those type of games, even though she's pretty young. So I guess that's the target. It's a person who likes to think about the game they're playing.
Right.
None of the turns are scripted. You have there are cards going to be provided that give you your list of options you can do, but on your turn, you choose the options you want to take, and that gives you that flexibility to shift strategies after the player ahead of you takes their turn and moves everybody around.
Makes sense. So that's pretty open. I mean, there's tons of people who fall into that category. And what's nice about this game is that, Daryl, you didn't only just design the game, you also did all of this beautiful artwork.
Yeah, I am the illustrator. Illustration is, kind of A, and gaming is A.2, or maybe it's the other way around. And it depends on the day. They sort of shift. They trade. So gaming and illustration are what I'm passionate about. And I'm thrilled that I've been able to do this full time for the last year, because once I launched Daubers, I got jobs with other publishers and plus my own work. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's great.
Where can our audience find out more about Alwaysgreen Garden?
Well, splatteredink.com is my website. If you go to splatteredink.com/garden, it'll take you to the page about that, which of course there's a sign up for, getting email notifications about when the Kickstarter is going to go live.
When is our Kickstarter going live?
July 2nd.
Yes, it's very exciting.
So this is sort of the first everyone hears it announcement. I've told people, but now the internet knows, which makes it true, right?
It's a Twist exclusive announcement. I love it. Okay, so July 2nd, this is going to hit Kickstarter. Do you have yet what the pledge levels are going to kind of look like generally?
Sure. The plan, unless there's a small, so we're, everyone's talking about tariffs. Once we know exactly what that's going to look like, I can say 100% sure, but we're looking at $26 for the base game. We are not planning to create a lot of additional content because this game is very well contained. But there will be stretch goals. We're going to have alternate backsides to these. We're going to have additional tool cards for Ollie. And some of the most exciting components that are not going to be stretch goals, they're going to be in the game, is that everything is going to be wood. So even the dice are going to be wood. So we want it to feel like natural and naturey, and like it's your gardening tools, that you have almost a tiny bit of a retro touch to it or whatever.
That's so pretty.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful game. I want you to enjoy interacting with it just as much as you enjoy the competition of playing the game.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Daryl, thank you so much for swinging by and showing us Alwaysgreen Garden. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. I know, especially with this being your first Origins, and I'm sure it's tough trying to see everything and meet everybody at the same time, so taking time out of your day to come hang out with us.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it, too.
Thank you so much, Daryl.
Awesome.
And everybody, stay tuned for some great continued live coverage. I'll be right back.